Ladies and gentlemen, I am Yusrael and welcome once again to the Tribble Timewarp. It is the 30th of October and as the usual disclaimer goes, beta is beta. Taken from the Book of Biscuit. I didn't get all the patrol missions in the last couple of episodes. Cryptic have apparently deliberately designed the mission so that you only have to visit half the patrol systems to get a complete daily, which is quite a nice touch. However, it does mean that there are a few more to cover, so let us go talk to Sub-Commander Mivek, her usual chatty self.
Jolan True.
As I said.
We have need of your assistance.
And we have the Tau Dewa.
Security must be maintained.
Yes. We know. I'm starting to wonder if it might not be an idea to have an option to turn her off.
We have need of your assistance.
Then again, I imagine every single captain in existence has felt the same way about Starfleet Command. So, on to the first system we didn't cover last time, Beta Langhal. Complete nowhere rock. Only single point of interest is that after Garon had a kicking at the Duras, they decided to patch their wounds here instead of at the nearest bar. Don't look at me, I didn't make that decision. Now then, this is actually quite an interesting mission. Yes, well. So, 200,000 years ago, etc. Was this an Iconian outpost? Because bombed back to the bedrock several 100,000 years ago seems to have come up quite a lot when it comes to the Iconians. I can only assume somebody really had a grudge. Alright, so Tholian patrols, scanning relics. Several sites on the planet have promising remnants. Now, this is something that bugs me, because despite the mission talking about sites on the planet, well, the planet's over there, the relics are over here. Now, map reading may not quite be the skill it used to be, but I make that as not being on the planet. So maybe that needs a bit of a tweak. Anyway, on to the mission. The Tholians are scanning the relics already, so in the spirit of scientific enterprise, let's blow the little sod away. Oh, for heaven's sake. Tracked repulsors, ladies and gentlemen. Very good for getting rid of Tholian webs. Right. Nick the loot. I'll say this. Cryptic are being very generous with their loot allocation in this mission, or that may just be me. On the other hand, we are going through a lot of energy credits for the various reputation upgrades and supplies. So let's see what we get. Beam up the relic. No doubt it'll just be a click the button. No, it isn't. And okay, we got to that in time. You only have a few seconds to figure out what you need to do and do it, which is quite a nice touch. Go ahead and blow away next Thorian. Rinse and repeat. Doobie-doobie-doo. Yes. Can he fall over? Thank you. Alright. Loot the ship. And beam up the relic. So, what do we have this time? Boost the gain. And as I said, if you are too slow, you fail the transport. The Tholians start paying you attention. You'll notice that there is a group dotted out to the sides. And one of those groups will come and pay you a visit. However, you can transport with safety interlock, so if you get it wrong the first time, there is a plan B. Why we didn't just go with this in the first place, I do not know. However, as you can see, that recluse has now woken up and is coming this way, so we're going to have to fight him. You could, of course, regard this as an opportunity for further loot. Personally, I regard it as a pain in the backside, so we'll trigger that. and polarize the hull just to get rid of that track beam. And then trigger the repulsors again because fighters are an annoyance, and I have got better things to do with my time. I wouldn't get an engine battery. The Tholians, they died for a 9-volt battery. Oh, the Bugicity? I think. Anyway, more Tholians, another relic, fire away. Lots of nippy little fighters. Thank you. One wasn't what I was aiming for, but hit and drop dead. Thank you. And the last one goes pop. Eventually it'll go pop. Kindly fall over. Thank you. Right. Relic number 3. Don't recognise the civilization those are from, but then I suppose that's kind of the point. It's meant to be a random, twisty archaeological thing that no one really knows about because, hey, it's 200,000 years old. Beam up the relic. Something that is bothering me is that it looks as though it will pick a response you have to go with, and it will use that for all 5 relics. There's no variety. Once you know what you have to do for one, you know what you have to do for all of them. Scan and Gravwell just to pin it. It will no doubt launch fighters in a few seconds. I intend to have it dead before that happens. Come on. Blasted bloody disruption torpedoes. Thank you. Now kindly fall over. Perfect. Okay, loot him down and beam up the relic. Who wants to bet we have to beam the gang in? And we can do it while moving, but that was a fail because of the delay and because I spent too long talking. Let's actually see if that works. Now, which group's going to come get us? Okay, that's interesting. So it only seems to check if you're moving when you finish the scan. And here he comes. Now, is that going to work as a way? Yes. Your webs cannot hold me. Ugh. Fracture repulsors, ladies and gentlemen, as much maligned as it sometimes is, it's a very handy skill to have, even on an escort. Sorry, a destroyer. Must get my terminologies right, after all. Even if I cannot fly worth a damn in this thing at the moment. There we go, and evade away from the explosion. Go find relic number 5. Looks like we've got another round of mesh weavers. Gravity will be off cooldown fairly shortly. Target that one. And close to range. Doobie-doobie-doo. Torpedo spread, cannon spread. Volley and fire. And that's how that was supposed to go last time. So, 1 relic. Now let's see if we can actually do this while moving. I know theoretically you can't. Boost the gain. Yes, yes you can. That's a little bit of a bug as well, isn't it? Alright, so we're done there. Depart the system. Not a bad little mission, actually. Certainly, at its heart, it's wipe out 5 groups and grab an objective at each point, but it's nice that they threw in a little bit of a puzzle, even if it is only a little bit of a puzzle. So, 20% credit for that. On to the Beta Thoridor system. And not the Hiromi sector. This thing turns like a brick at warp. Doobie-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. There we go, and engage slipstream, because frankly, I'm lazy. Alright. Beta Thoridor. Who knows what we're going to find here? I can't remember anything about this system. So, no known usable minerals, not habitable. But we're going to take another look anyway, because hey, the last 24 survey expeditions might have missed something of value, you never know. And what the blazes was that? Okay, so the Klingons are occupying a green-blooded dogs and Federation spy. Well, it's good to see the Klingons are back to their usual characters. And they started the party without us, little gits. Right, for that you must definitely die. Interesting that they're using the rival Klingon faction. Now, those guys popped up in the Klingon Starbase missions. Essentially was a way to allow the Klingons to fight the Klingons without either having the spectre of a civil war or having to explain the political ramifications of, hey, you know, the Klingon Empire is kind of simultaneously trying to help this Romulan colony and at the same time blowing them up. But even so, I imagine there will be ramifications. Short, sweet, and settled on the carpet of the High Council. With knives, as is usually the case. Patch that up in a hurry. There we go. Roll into the next pack. I'm not saying the Phaser Lotus can be overpowered, but sometimes it has its uses. Round and round we go. Reinforce the shields quickly. Break away again. What is that upgrade? Phaser system offline. Oh, right, I see. So if you get to disable with a phaser, that's the buff to let you know that he's temporarily immune to it. Only temporarily, mind you. I suppose it's good feedback that you have actually taken something offline. Alright, who's next? Scattershot, Gravity Well. Now, I have to wonder if subnucleonic beam will actually remove that immunity. If so, it could get quite interesting. Of course, it's also too random to be used predictably, but... Dooby-dooby-doo. Drop dead. Thank you. Alright. I will repeat my concern, however, and I believe I said this in episode 2, that relying too much on these kill 5 wave missions is sheer design laziness on Cryptic's part. It's very obviously just a cut and paste from the other missions. They've done one generic template and tweaked it a bit. And it would be nice to see more variety within the missions, but hey, that's maybe just me. It would also be nice to see this nebula graphic fixed, because I've seen that flickering in several other scenarios. I'm not sure whether it's my system or something unique to that nebula, but it is annoying in the extreme. Alright, Gravity Well, Scatter Volley, Technical Team, Torque Spread, Conage, etc, etc, etc. And good night. Alright, one last bird of prey to go. Rapid fire's coming up. And there goes his shields, and there goes his hull. Is there anybody left alive? Yes, one Toduj, no doubt singing the Klingon war song. And a blow has been struck for good music this day. Alright, nothing worth hoovering up, one rather annoying nebula bug, and a lot of dead Klingons. It was a good day for somebody to die. Oh yes, and while I accept it's annoying that we can't leave the map during red alert, can we please have the "you can leave now" hail not show during Red Alert, just so we don't have that particular engine limit getting lampshaded. Again, personal opinion, it's a minor niggle. Right, next system. Now, I don't believe Kittimer has anything, and I don't believe Suliban has either, but we'll swing by Kittimer on the way to the Japori system anyway. I imagine they'll use this for plot lines later on. Kittimer, of course, has figured several times in the Trek canon, most notably as A, the place where the Klingon Federation alliance was signed, and B, where a certain young Klingon happened to be when the Romulans paid a visit. Yes, we shan't discuss what Compek was authorising research into there either. That particular little skeleton will probably stay in the closet for a few months yet, although if Cryptic ever want to move the Klingon Federation plot on, having that become public knowledge would be a good start. Okay, so want to do business, but so basically it's the dive of this particular sector block. Alright, let's see what we get. It's another 5-wave mission, isn't there? Alright, roll on in, let's start the fun. Okay. Fade away. Right. He's gone. Won't get a good shot from that Nausicaan without getting too close to the exploding battleship, which has largely done my job for me. Fire calling the fleet, or at least my own little pocket fleet. And again, circle around for another attack pass. Target the Garamba this time, because if I'm about to trigger the Phase Lotus, I don't want the primary target falling over. And finish that siphon off since we've got the shot. Okay, loop back. There we go. And break away. Reverse, tactical team, sensor scan, and get another forward guns pass onto the Garamba just to finish the job. Like so. Now then, where is wave number 3? There we go. Siphon frigate and destroyer escort. Well, the destroyer can go first. We'll probably get the siphon on a whim. And just shut down all your firepower while we're at it. Subnucleonic beam, ladies and gentlemen. It is nasty if you have a lot of buffs stacked. Pop, and oh, the siphon is still there. Not for much longer. Problem solved. Move her up the loop around again. Corpse spread just to take advantage. I thought I ordered the torpedo spread. No, I didn't. Fumble fingers, right. Break away. Scatter, spread. Target the frigate, and forward guns into play again. All very standard stuff, and unless there's a bit more variety in these missions, all very boring stuff. Cryptic, this is getting very, very close to the bad old days of the sector patrol missions that were originally so much content for that. 7 enemies? Oh yes, of course, siphon filters. No, not siphon filters, siphon probes, power draining doogery, what's this? You know what I mean. Those little things. Anyhow, drop the frigates. Loop around, rebalance and reinforce the shields. And everything goes bang in spectacular. Again, we're going to get alert error because we're still in combat, and they nevertheless presented up the option to depart. That's just a minor error of timing, really. And off we go. Not entirely sold on this, it has to be said. Copy-paste is bad, as much of a time saver as it might be. As much as of a case as, well, we've got these in for the moment and we'll come back and do something later. Guys, your dev team is small. You don't have the time, I suspect, to come back and do it later. So, may as well do it right first time. Right then, the Akamar system. Vaguely remember this name. Oh yes, there was an old Next Gen episode, I think it was the Vengeance Factor or something like that. Involved something about a genetically engineered assassin, if I remember correctly. Haven't seen those old episodes in years, might have to go back and watch them again. If I can stomach several hours of Wesley Bloody Crusher. The Wunderkind of Starfleet. God's biggest waste of oxygen ever to enter the Academy. But let's see, what do we have in the Akamar system? Right. They're now unified, so the Gatherers came back. And since they're space fighters, okay, they're going to need some persuasion. Right. Akamar clan leader, neutral third party. Okay, well, there are the other three. So, let's roll. And break. And just in case, we'll keep you all under the forward guns. Nothing personal, guys. He doesn't sound happy. Can't even feed our own people. Clan that cannot be his needs. All of that. Okay, so that didn't go too badly. And make sure matters don't spiral out of control. Oh yeah, things are going to be spiraling out of control, aren't they? Right, well that was actually short and sweet. Nice to have a mission that isn't pew-pew and has a bit of diplomacy. It's going to be interesting to see how the Klingons tackle that one. I might have to bring one of my Klingon characters over here and take a look at it. Alright, what's next? The Jure system, I think, and then a hop around to Korea. We're up to 75% done, so yeah, 2 systems should do the trick. If it wasn't for the fact that this thing turns like a brick at warp... Do I even have points in driver coil in this character? No, I don't. That may be why. Okay, doobie-doobie-doo. And accelerate into the Jure system. Probably ought to decelerate, or risk hitting something, but there you go. Okay. Oh yes, this was the first colony that got hit by the Borg, wasn't it? Well, the first Federation colony. Of course, nobody else ever counted. So, Omega Force have said, look, the Borg came this way and we don't know why, so put in a listening outpost. So hey, when these guys stop reporting back, we'll know something's up again. I suppose it's occurred to Omega that it might just mean that Jure happened to be in the way. But we shall see. Alright, Lieutenant. We have 2 major network satellites as well. I'm uploading the coordinates now. So we have to tune the comm array elements and we have to aid in satellite construction. Well, let's start with the comm array. Nice reuse of the graphics and assets from the starbase here. Again, I think we have flickering nebulae. I'm not sure if that's the same nebula that I was having a problem with earlier. Again, I'm also not sure if it was my system. And I believe I just flew straight through this satellite. Yeah, looks like the body of it is solid, but the solar panels aren't. Oh well, I'm sure we can bolt most of that back on. I hope. Tunes the Comare. Oh right, nice little touch there. Good reuse of the scanning minigame, because let's face it, nobody really gathers resources, because right now there are too many easy ways to get gear. Right now... Oh right, you have to do it twice. It doesn't quite make that clear, does it? Not sure why they bothered with that. Unless they were going to put two different Comares in, but I don't see another one in the map. Maybe cut that down to just tune the Comare. That does strike me as needless repetition at the moment. However, subspace booster satellite. Alright, all stop. Let's see what we've got. Examines the satellite. Do you see a satellite? It's more likely to intercept communications traffic. So you can either go round, or we can do all of these things, or we can just target it and beam over the engineers. That's actually kind of cool. It's a nice acknowledgement that, hey, we can do this the long way around, or we can just send over some engineers and delegate it to the lower decks crew. It's a nice acknowledgement from Cryptic there that, hey, the senior bridge officers don't have to do everything. Now, will hazard emitters work? Yes, they will, and quite quickly as well. Enemy ship traffic... Oh, wow. I apologise to Task Force Omega. Looks like the Borg are back. Hello, Borg. Would you mind explaining why you're coming this way? I mean, it's just the shortest route. Perhaps you would like to fill in a survey. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate the assimilation of this system? No? No? Oh, right, well, sod you then. I have to note that this isn't the first time I've run this mission. The last time it was Norscan, so that is actually a random enemy. It's pure happenstance that the Borg happened to show up in a mission that's talking about the Borg. Drop dead. And there we go. All clear for today. Lieutenant, I have no idea which Admiral's Prize Beagle you decided to test your theories on, but I don't envy you this assignment. Anyway, let's get out of here. Now that's done properly. The red alert had to go before we had the option to depart the system. So yeah, that's done properly. Can we please have that fixed into some of the other missions, particularly the custom pace jobs? Right, one final system to go, the Korea system. And we're... Yes, we're facing the wrong way. Typical helmsman, couldn't even organise an exit vector correctly. And I'm not playing my Klingon, so I can't airlock him either, no matter how much he may deserve it. Right, almost onto course. Slipstream drive in 3, 2, 1, engage. This drive works. I do not permit Scotsmen in my engine rooms. Ever. And reverse from slipstream. Okay. Heh. Yes, I can imagine just why the House of Martok blocked the colony. I don't imagine that skeleton's going to stay in its closet for too long either. Okay, what do we have? A loading screen, it would seem. Pom pom tiddly pom. Aha, There we go. I don't know why it has this long pause and then suddenly jumps in. But that seems to be a regular feature. So what do we have? Oh no, not another one. Right. Romulans on Romulans. Well, I suppose they're giving us some variety. Let the administering of boot to derriere begin. Break away. Loot that while we're at it. Oh, inventory's full. Starfleet does not condone piracy. Remember this, ladies and gentlemen. We just shoot our enemies into little bits, raid the derelicts, and take anything that looks useful. Thank you. Right. Drop 1, drop 2. And employ tractor repulsors in its role as point defense yet again. Right. Scatter volley, spread, tack team. And gravity well, just to make sure they don't go anywhere. Pop, pop, and... no pop. Oh well, can't have everything. Can, however, have a functioning bird of prey that isn't being held together with spit, baling twine, and happy thoughts. Rapid fire. Cannons on the aft. There we go. Kill those scorpions quickly, lock onto more guys, strip that, and call in the holographic fleet. Because let's face it, Quantity has that whole quality thing. Break away, cycle the past, absolutely standard stuff. Helps when you get 3 escorts as your holographic fleet, but really that's just speeding things up a little. Bring round the exploding Mogai, and still lose most of the port shield. Engineering team, hazard emitters, and power to the shields just in case. Using a phaser lotus as a point defense probably constituted overkill, but who cares, it did the job. Right, break away again, reverse. Tactical team locked in. And scan him up. As much for the reduction to his damage as it is for the, get your little mines away. Cheap trick at the best of times. And it won't save you either, so... a couple of batteries, Torp spread, tactical team, and gravity well. Absolutely standard combat doctrine. You've all done it hundreds of times, which is my real concern about these missions. If they don't mix things up, if they don't add more random elements, this is going to get very, very boring very, very quickly. Oh yes, inventory supplies it. And one little scorpion. Now, go away. Right. And we've completed both the sector. Again, the red alert is still up, so I'm going to get a bug if I attempt to leave the system. Surprise. And I'm just looking at that. Is it me, or is there going to be a serious tidal problem on one or both of those worlds? Just saying. Anyhow, that is pretty much it for the Tau Dewa patrol missions. Mostly, they're not too bad. They're competently executed. There are a few loose edges that could be tidied up. My big concern is that a good many of them are essentially cut and paste jobs, and very obviously so. There are some random elements. I've had the Enterprise F pop up in one mission just to make things a little more interesting, but my big concern is that unless Cryptic mix this up a little more, which is going to mean a lot more work out of their mission designers, this is going to turn into just another grind, and it's going to get very boring very quickly for a great many people. But we'll see. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Yuzril. That has been the Tribble Timewarp, or at least part of it, for the 30th of October. And with that, I will conclude my little duology in 3 parts. I'll see you next time.